Yeah, me man, the drug don't stop. Back with another video. Today's video is the most painful cartel deaths ever. And you know how these men, if you know about this shit, you know about these men. These men are just, you don't even say that, you know? Before a man gets cancer, you know what I mean? But you know, these men are, let's just continue in the video, innit? You'll see for yourself if you don't know. Do your own research after this, you feel me? I got it.
Peanut butter. On a calm, breezy morning in Mexico City,
Ooh,
the day's
see,
peace
man.
would be interrupted by the disturbed screams of a man tied to a pole.
Oh, hold on. I don't like this. Give me some weird feeling, bro. It's close there, so you feel me? Alright, come on. Let's keep watching this. This my shit. Straight.
But you're probably wondering how he got here in the first place. Earlier that month, he had been accused of committing an unthinkable crime to a local woman in the city. Word of his actions spread quickly, angering friends, families, and other
Foolish
locals
boy.
until a notorious Mexican gang caught wind of the story. For them, justice would not wait for courts and police. They tracked the man down, ripped him out from his house, and dragged him out into the open.
And that's where we say GG's. Congratulations, sir. You've caused yourself some damage. I don't know why, yeah. My flipping and vision analysts are making me sound like I got a list, fam. That's annoying. Why does it sound like I got a list, bro? Like, I can't even say lists properly. But anyway, man, let's carry on. Well, congratulations.
They grabbed his hands and bound him tightly so that escape was impossible. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, the gang pulled out a tub of peanut butter and began to slather it on his... The man...
Brother, look how he's invested in it. Look how the youth here with the peanut butter. Look how invested he is in his balls.
And became confused because while covering somebody in peanut butter is a pretty strange punishment, it's not necessarily painful. However, his confusion would quickly fall into dread when the man brought out two huge pit bulls. He immediately realized what they were trying to do.
Nah, brother.
And began pleading for mercy. However, his cries were drowned out by the growls of the snarling dogs.
Nah.
When the animals were unleashed, panic surged through the alleged criminal as he screamed for help. The punishment unfolded brutally. It was a slow spectacle of
Come on,
pain
bro.
and
Hey, why is this?
humiliation. And sadly, his screams fell on deaf ears as locals pretended like nothing was happening.
I don't know where this is, bro. Wherever this is, I'm never going to that location. Mexico won't see me ever, bro. You man have fun in Mexico. I'll be happy staying right here in the cold rain. You know what I mean? I'll charge it. No matter how good the weather's down there, how long the things are down there, you have it. You feel me? You got it.
By the time the dogs were pulled back, the man was left broken in a way that couldn't be fixed.
Oh my God.
The point was made clear. The gang had delivered their brand of justice and sent an unforgettable message that'll live on in the heart of Mexico City.
However, though, let's not just skip what Broski done, innit? That's low-key a good thing for him. Well, it was very crazy, but hey, we do shit like that. That's the consequences you face. You feel me?
Years. Vile acts against the vulnerable in this city will not be tolerated.
I might search that up. I need to see the image.
49.
Crazy
On May
like
12th, 2012, a man in Cartel, Jimenez decided to step out of his home for a quick beverage. The evening was warm and calm. It was the kind of night where nothing out of the ordinary was really expected. As the man walked along the highway, the dim lights cast long shadows across the road. Out of nowhere, the man would stumble across what sort of looked like a strange log just lying to the left of the pavement. He barely paid it any mind, stepping past it. Moments later, he saw another one, then another, with each log carrying a foul, nauseating stench that clung to the air. The smell was strong enough to stop the man from walking any further. Confused, he decided to inspect the objects. He crouched closer, squinting at the twisted shapes in the dark. What at first looked like a bunch of discarded stick bundles on the highway slowly revealed themselves as something far more horrifying than expected. The man recoiled in terror. They weren't logs. They were human bodies. 49 bodies scattered across the road. They were men and women, stripped of their dignity. Each of them were missing their heads, hands, and feet. The music was so precise and brutal that it was nearly impossible to tell who they once were. Some of the people were stuffed into plastic bags, and others dumped carelessly onto the roadside. The man's breath quickened as his mind struggled to process the scale of what he was seeing. A sense of dread swept over him as he realized he had stumbled upon a In that moment, the silence of the night felt oppressive. The road transformed into a grove.
Nah, man, just imagine you're strolling through, you know, where was you going in the first place, bro? You know what I mean? Where are you going? Anyway, but detached, like you can't even identify, bro. It's like, bro. I ain't got much to say for that, bro.
Later, authorities would confirm what many feared. This was the work of Los Zetas, one of Mexico's most violent cartels. The bodies were left as a chilling message in an ongoing war for control of smuggling routes into the United States. By dawn, the site was swarmed with police and soldiers with their flashlights cutting through the dark as they documented the time.
Stink as well, man.
Officials were able to arrest the perpetrator of the tragedy, Daniel Jesus Elizondo Ramirez, more formally known as El Loco. This is just one of many atrocities that happen in Mexico because of wars like these. And if there's one thing that's true about these conflicts, it's that the innocents will always be the ones who have to pay. May their souls rest in peace. The Ghost Rider incident. The CJNG is one of the most powerful and dangerous cartels in Mexican history. The United Cartels is a coalition that was formed in opposition to their control. And on a sweltering afternoon deep in cartel territory, a notorious man known as the Ghost Rider, in allegiance with the United Cartels, would find himself in the grip of one of Mexico's most feared criminal organizations.
Okay, so they got a
Albion Online is a...
These bloody ads, man. Let's just wait. You know what these ads... Don't worry, we'll skip it. We'll stay silent. Let's get it up. I'll be back. Look him.
See, Ghost Rider got his peculiar name from his horrific reputation. He was known for setting his victims ablaze and leaving them out in the open to be discovered. However, now that he was captured and surrounded by the CJNG, his fate became sealed long before cameras even started rolling. This cartel was not content with simply eliminating a rival. They wanted to carve a message into the eyes of each and every one of their enemies. And in their eyes, Ghost Rider's nickname provided the perfect stage for humiliation. The camera.
Look at Brody's face. Whatever Broski does.
Ghost Rider's nickname.
You know you're finished, boy. Especially in a location where there's no one to save you. Say goodbye, bro. Look at him. Look at Broski.
Name provided the perfect stage for humiliation. The camera steadied on him as members of the cartel mocked the moniker he had carried. And then with a calm and chilling demeanor, they doused his face in accelerant and struck a flame. What followed was a spectacle designed not just to eliminate, but to terrify. The man's face ignited in an instant. Flames began dancing across his skin, consuming the man's head until it became unrecognizable. Bound and helpless, his muffled cries pierced the silence as the cartel...
GG's, man. GG's. You, man, got it, bro. What? Burnt my guy's face and they're laughing. Look at these youths. They're laughing, bro. This is how you know, yeah. That you know how wicked that is. Like, how can you see a human being and burn their face alive and laugh at them while they're screaming and suffering and pain, bro? This is how you know these men are used to this. These men do this on a daily basis, bro. It's nothing new, you know what I mean? This ain't shit new, bro.
Stood by, watching. The man could no longer see, and his head now resembled nothing but a skull. But horrifically enough, he was still screaming.
How is Broski still alive? Oh my god. Oh man, I don't know how he does that, bro. I don't know how these men do that, bro. How is he still alive?
This terrible sight, paired with his nickname that once gave him power in the criminal underworld, had been twisted into a cruel, barbaric joke.
Bro.
The man had literally become the Ghost Rider.
The Ghost Rider, I see.
The video of the savagery spread across the dark corners of the internet, where CJNG often showcased their brutality. And for those who stumbled upon the footage, the sight was unforgettable. A man was transformed into a symbol of suffering and humiliation, and that symbol would unfortunately outlast his legacy.
What, did he die though?
Panic surged through the city as word spread of the grisly discovery made inside of the bag.
Whoa, the fuse going up, man. You see on the top left? Welcome for that.
Los Mochis, police chased down reports of red-stained sacks dumped all over the town. Each one revealed another part of a human body, like some sort of sick, twisted treasure hunt. Inside one bag was a torso, in another bag were severed limbs. But the true horror that shocked the city came from a janitor cleaning the front of a city hall. While doing his job, he stumbled across a sports bag, but when he went to pick it up, a soccer ball bounced out of it. As it rolled over, the ball revealed that it was stitched with human skin. A man's face was pulled tight over the leather with its lips sewn shut.
My howler. What have I just heard? What have I just heard, bro? What the fuck have I just heard, my guy? Wait. Hold on, bro. Hold on. What the fuck have I just heard, man? Let me replay that. In case you man did not hear, yeah? Let's just go back to that real quick. Let me see. I'm muted again. No. In case you man did not hear that, let's just quickly get this on the replay. You know what I mean? Because this is not sitting right with me. You know what I mean? Like this is some next level, just some bullshit. You know what I mean?
And a note beside it read, "A man's face was pulled tight over the leather with its lips sewn shut." And a note beside it read, "Happy New Year." Pulled tight. As it rolled over, the ball revealed that it was stitched with human skin. A man's face was pulled tight over the leather with its lips sewn shut. And a note beside it read, "Happy New Year, because this will be your last." In early January 2010, a 36-year-old man named Hugo Hernandez had mistakenly crossed into Sinaloa cartel territory while they were in the midst of one of the bloodiest cartel wars in history against the Juarez. They immediately abducted the man, tied him to a chair, brought out a chainsaw, and well, the rest was history. This is
for what? For what? Was Broski's just standing in the middle of between my accident? My nigga's getting chainsawed, bro. Is this how life is in Mexico?
One of the bloodiest cartel wars in history against the Juarez. They immediately abducted the man, tied him to a chair, brought out a chainsaw, and well, the rest was history. This is just one of the hundreds of thousands of civilian casualties in this non-stop war. The violence is so bad that reporters and journalists stopped reporting on it because they too were brutally.
Wow.
If you human and
you guys are not catching me, but you man are hearing that, bro. Broski was in the. This is millions of civilians. I said millions. I don't know if it's a million. Their civilians are going through that shit, bro. You're just standing in between and just getting murked. My goodness. These man got it, bro. A funky time incident. View of Blue Air.
Rolling, and then the footage adjusts.
The
scene is set on a man bound with his hands and legs tied by extension cords. As the camera focuses more, it becomes clear that the man is most certainly not alive. His face is missing, and so are his hands and eyes. However, in sheer impossibility, the man begins moving violently. The camera slightly pans over to the side, and there it becomes apparent that these cartel members hooked the man up to a substance to pump his adrenaline and keep him wide awake and aware. Because of this, it is impossible for the man to...
Nah. I have to do a little spin for this one. You, man. Oh my days, bro. What the fuck are these? I just saw my whole body on camera. Nah. Let me get that. I'm getting a bit too short. Broski. That speaks for you, man, who maybe do not have the IQ of you don't have IQ. Let's just leave it at that. These men are torturing, man. That bad. He should be dead right now, or he should be out. Like he shouldn't even be like breathing. You know what I mean? Like, he should be knocked out. But instead, these men are like, nah. We ain't doing none of that. Where you going? Wake back up so you can feel this shit. Wake back up so you can feel every inch we're digging and digging inside of you. You can't, like, this ain't enough. I wonder what this brother done.
And that's when it starts. The cartel members pull out a knife and stick a metal pole in the man's mouth in an effort to silence him. What happens next is simply just too horrific to mention on YouTube, so out of respect for this man's life and to protect your mental security, I'll skip over it. All you need to know is that they began playing a game with the man's throat while pumping him with substances to keep him alive. The best thing I can compare this to is if you were to undergo surgery and one of the operating doctors forgot to give you anesthesia, which, by the way, is just a medical treatment that typically makes you unconscious and unaware during painful surgeries.
Alright, you man. Yeah, man, let's just follow these rules. Just don't go Mexico, bro. Just don't go. For your own safety. You know what I mean? Just don't go. Chill where you are. You know what I mean? Just don't go Mexico. You know what I mean? It's just shit happens like
Normally,
this,
in a case
bro.
like this, you'd shoot up in extreme pain. But since you're restrained, the agony would just cause you to pass out on the operating table. Now imagine if the doctors were also injecting you with some type of liquid that prevented you from passing out and kept you wide awake, to watch what they were doing to your body in complete horror. That's pretty much what happened, and after the men were done, the video would finally end. But shortly afterward, another video in the same room would surface. In it, you can see the same
There we
men
go.
playing soccer with the victims.
What's wrong with these men on
kicking
balls
it
with
back and
heads,
forth
bro?
to each other in efforts to catch
Gee,
them.
man.
What makes this incident as horrific as it is isn't the sheer brutality of their actions. When the men were carrying out this atrocity, it's heavily noted that they would be talking to each other, calm and casually, as if it were another Tuesday morning at their shift.
This just ruined my whole mood, fam. This just ruined my whole mood. You, man. I put this video for you guys to watch this. And it's ruined my mood. So I'm doing this for you. You can only do me a favor. Just hit the like button. Subscribe. Put notifications on. Comment down below. It don't cost money. But this has absolutely bamboozled my mood. Look at these two menaces to society. Playing football with a human being's head, my guy. Torturing and keeping them alive. Oh, these man got it. These man got it.
All the meanwhile, a popular 80s hit would play in the background, striking a
With
mind-boggling
music in the
contrast
background,
between
even
their
on
gruesome
savage.
acts and the fun and enjoyable
You know what I
disco
mean?
song.
Like, just be like
The
this.
song is called Funky Town by Lips Incorporated, and chances are you've probably already heard this song countless times when you were young. When I was a child, this was a
Definitely not
song
me,
they
man.
played for me at Chuck E. Cheese and at school festivals. And
I
now,
wanna hear the
my
music, but I
memories
don't
of
at the
this
same time.
fun and stupid disco song are tainted by the actions of the wicked. The warmth, security,
Let's hear Little People of it, you know what I mean? Because I don't know the song in it, so I'd love to know. Oh my fucking days, bro. Oh my days, bro.
and luxuries we have today were not built on the morals of the evil. They're built by those who dare to be inspirational instead of evil.
That's not even cool.
They're built
bro.
by those who sacrifice themselves to protect their country. They're built by good men and women who figured out that love is stronger than wickedness. Be a good person to the world, your neighbors, and most importantly, to yourself. And as usual,
That's definitely the end of the video. Oh my god. Well, my mental head. I'm gonna have to go and do something, bro. My mental head is broken. You know what I mean? Man's got all sorts of images in my head, bro, and I just can't take it anymore. So I guess I have to wrap this video, guys. If you enjoyed this reaction, you know we're on the joke, so stay tuned for more of the joke. There's gonna be more different stuff. Like, subscribe, comment down below. You know what I mean? Keep those notifications. Keep supporting the batch. We're going to 1K. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be there for it, so don't miss out. I love you, man. Yeah, man. Let me get a thumbnail real quick. Hold on. 'Cause man hasn't been doing any thumbnails. You know what I mean? Let's get this in. Hey. Alright, let me wait for this. You see behind the scenes. Yeah, how can I do my face? You might see my shit, but I don't care. See you later.